Good morning, colleagues.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. And welcome to our webinar on digital transformation for business leaders, or digitalization or digitization for business leaders. So we are running through this because per our meeting as consultants the other time, some of us couldn't have the opportunity to follow through. So we'll run through it again. And then if any of us makes anything, we can catch up with it again. All right, so this is going to be a 40 minutes presentation. And afterwards, I'll reserve about 10 minutes if we have questions that can come through for us to answer. Thank you very much. Okay, so a little bit about me. So I'm a business technology strategist, a front-end developer, and then I specialize in cloud technologies and privacy policy. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah, so zooming in right into the presentation, we're going to look at the nature of digital disruption. We'll also look at what digital transformation is. We'll look at why digital transformation at all, and then we'll look at trending technologies that are driving digital transformation, because we are talking about transformation, meaning that there's a change happening in the business landscape. But what are the technologies driving this change? So we'll come to that and then talk a bit briefly about that. We probably may touch on, we don't have enough time, but we may touch a bit on e-commerce and then the after. We'll look at how we implement a DT strategy, a brief information about that. And then we'll focus on IDEC, the training program that we have in-house. So that borders on consulting service when it comes to digital transformation. All right, then we'll have the Q&A session, and if any of us have any questions, we can take them and then answer them. All right, so thank you very much. I hope that we have a very enjoyable webinar today. Okay.
Thank you, you're welcome.
Good. All right, so what is digital transformation? So mainly we are looking at business processes, integrating technology into the traditional way of doing business, and then coming up with innovative ideas that we can deploy technology to achieve. So mainly is as simple as that, how we deploy technology to do business. And then why it is important for business, we'll go into that as we move along. Yes. So getting into the details of what digital transformation is, we'll look at, we should always have this in mind, that it's got little to do with technology. Though we talk about technological transformation, it's got little to do with technology, but more to do with business transformation. Okay, so meaning that we are not pushing away everything that we know as traditional business, all right? So definitely business is still going to have the HR function, the finance function, the general management function and all of that. But then how do we transform our businesses to ensure that we are using technology to be efficient and also be innovative? So when it comes to transformation, digital transformation, it comes to using digital technology, you're looking at how you will transform your business, the processes by which you go through to transform the business. So it's not so much to do with the technology, but technology will come and go, but you must be on top with how you transform the business, to be able to stay competitive. And then it's got everything to do with business solutions and then value creation. So we are not, going for technology's sake, but then we are going for technology to provide, to come up with solutions for our businesses, and most importantly, to create value for our customers. And our customers, can be internal or external. More, we'll come back to that and be able to delve much into that. So fundamentally, we're looking at risk transformation. When it comes to digital transformation, our main focus, I think, and from my experience and expertise, is mainly to do with risk transformation. At the end of the day, if you're a business, you are thinking about how an oncoming or a new technology in your landscape would affect or impact your business. So if you are into hospitality business, for example, recently there have been a major change on the landscape. And if any of you have heard of Airbnb, now Airbnb is a digital platform that connects people who would want to stay in homes or to book rooms, and that is different from the traditional way of doing business in the hotel industry. Because previously you would have to move to a particular country, or well, you could even book ahead of time, and then you get to, let's say you're traveling from US and then you're coming to Ghana, you get to Ghana, and then you book hotels, so the known hotels, you can talk about Golden Tulip, other hotels as well. But what Airbnb did was that it was able to bring together owners of properties, so private properties, people who own private properties, people who own rooms, extra rooms that they can give away in their private, homes, was able to bring them together with travelers. So if I'm going to the US, so I'm visiting the US, I don't need to stay in a hotel anymore. I can just book a private room, using the Airbnb platform. You understand? So I'm bringing out this illustration to point to the fact that digital transformation is really about risk transformation. So if you are in the hotel industry, that should get you thinking, how are you going to transform to be able to adapt to this disruption that has been brought by Airbnb? Because since Airbnb launched, had it not been for the COVID, the hotels were really facing some sort of challenges. Aside the business travel kind of line of business, if you talk about personal travel, they were really having a difficult time because people now were shifting from the traditional hotel landscape to the digital platform that Airbnb offers. So when I talk about risk transformation, that's an illustration that I can give, that it is really about risk. It's about how you look into your industry, look at how technology is impacting your industry and how you can adapt. And for us, it is important that you don't only always look forward to adapting, but you'll be much more proactive, move ahead of times to be able to anticipate what could really impact your industry. So if you are in the hotel business, again, you should be projecting that some way, somehow, a new technology will come into your landscape. And I don't know if people or businesses could predict the disruption brought by Airbnb, but then it would have been great for business leaders in that industry to think ahead of time, to do what we call scenario planning, so that you'll be able to know that, okay, if this happens to the industry, this is how we adapt. You understand? So for example, if you're a business in the hotel industry, how are you going to mitigate this risk brought about by Airbnb? I think that you have to look at how you would adapt, to the platform of Airbnb. And if I were some of the business leaders, I would think of actually partnering with Airbnb so that I can offer, rooms. If I have rooms in my hotel that I think, will not be booked over time, I could still bring it to the platform at some of the rates that Airbnb offers. And that likely will make you sustainable. Okay, so then if we talk about risk transformation, what risks are we managing? When it comes to digital transformation, our main focus usually is on digital disruption, because that is this is the baby, or if you will, this is the monster that we must be scared of, but not really be scared of. We must find ways and means of embracing it, and then strategizing to take advantage of the opportunity that it offers. So digital disruption really can create a problem, can pose a major risk factor, but then can also be an opportunity for businesses to innovate, come up with new products and all of that. So what is digital disruption? So if you talk about digital disruption, that is when we can say from nowhere, suddenly you can have new technologies, emerging technologies, changing the way we do business. You understand? So if that happens, then the traditional ways of doing businesses can be dissolved, can be wiped out completely. And we have illustrations, to be able to, get much more insight into the way and manner digital disruption can affect businesses. So one popular case that we can always refer to is Walmart, and Walmart compared with Amazon. So Walmart is a major retail company in the US, United States. So they've been in business for a very long time, and their business model has been having physical outlets, okay, all over the United States. I don't know if they are in the other countries as well. They have outlets, physical points where people, when they need to shop, can go and then shop. But then what happened? Amazon, at a point in time, came up with an idea that they wanted to sell books online. So then they started. At the time they began selling books online, I'm not sure Walmart was paying attention to them. But before they realized, Amazon was selling everything from A to Z, everything that you can think of, and introduced a technology platform that made it convenient for businesses or for people or consumers to order for goods and then get it delivered to their doorstep. Now, the amazing bit of it, what we must pay attention to, is that when there's a new technology, usually the innovation that follows it is what really attracts customers. Now, so if you look at the Amazon platform, now when you order anything from Amazon, you can decide where you can be in any country and decide where the goods should be shipped to. So that is one. Also, there's an inbuilt tracking system that you can always track your goods, right? When the goods ship, when Amazon ships your goods, they would notify you via email, or you can have their app, downloaded, and you get a notification that your goods have been shipped. It is on the way. The platform can tell you the exact time your goods will arrive. Now, all these helps in planning, in the sense that it saves the consumer or the customer a lot of time. You understand? It has saved you the time of you having to drive to a physical location to get your stuff. It is also taking away the stress of logistics, how you're going to get your stuff to your destination. Now you have third-party logistical companies doing that, bringing your goods to your doorstep, and easily you can monitor using the track system. So this is an example of how digital disruption can impact and change the way we do business. You understand? So we'll get into details as to the real impact. You see a graphical impact of Amazon digital technology and the impact on the retail industry. Now, let's come home. Let's look at our situation or scenario in Ghana. Now, if you look at the print media, a lot of disruption has happened, you understand? If you look at New York Times, if you look at the Washington Post, these are major print media establishments that have gone online. Now, instead of going for the traditional papers, they've limited that. Now you can get their news, you can get, constant feed on your digital platform. So you just visit their site, they have all the news items. Now, using technology, you have the option of selecting what content you would want, to be reading over time. Now, this transformation or shift or decision by these advanced or developed countries, their print media has been happening, I think, over the last 5 or more years. But in Ghana, we recently had Graphic Communication Limited also moving on to the bandwagon. You understand? Now, you cannot just say that this is just a bandwagon because this is real business. This is really impacting your profit if you don't make a change. So Graphic came up with an app called I think the Graphic News app, that now you can get your newspaper, on a digital platform. Instead of walking to the vendor to get your paper, you can get your news item online. Now, this particular case, if you look at it critically, you would see how it is going to disrupt the news media industry, okay, in Ghana. And then most importantly, we are coming to the next concept that I'll be talking about. That if you're talking about digital transformation, you don't only consider your industry, but then you also consider industry that you think is far from you, but somehow has a linkage, to your business. So if we look at the case of Graphic communication, now that Graphic is moving to the digital platform, if it happens that subscribers of the newspaper increase, and then you have a lot of people subscribing to that digital platform, what is going to happen to the suppliers who supply Graphic with ink, suppliers who supply Graphics Communication Limited with paper? You understand? So if you are in that industry producing paper for Graphics or Graphic Communication Limited, and you are not considering the impact of digital disruption, what is going to happen? What is going to happen is that Graphic Communication Limited is going to limit their demand for paper. All right, and what is going to happen to you if you just sat down and didn't take into consideration digital disruption? Your industry or your business would die off if you were the supplier of paper to Graphic Communication Limited. The same way, if you were a supplier of the ink that Graphic Communication Limited uses for their printouts, then you're also going to face a challenge because of this disruption. It can go on and on to companies that supply hardware. You have the print machines. You have industries that are built around producing machines for large printing. These industries are going to be affected by just one single app that Graphic Communication Limited is deploying. You understand? It will get to a point in time where they will not need machines to print anymore, and is even going to affect the number of people they employ. Now, the sad bit is that you'd have those in the chain, especially the vendors. Eventually, they will see their businesses, being taken away from them. So, if you put yourself as a business leader in the shoes of a supplier in the print industry, then you will know that digital disruption can be very devastating if you are not taking the steps to strategize, to either adapt or diversify, because sometimes there's nothing you can do. You realize that a whole industry has been wiped out, and the only thing you can do as a business leader is to think of diversifying, moving into a new industry, in general. All right, so that really illustrates a major point when it comes to digital transformation, that don't only look at your industry alone as a business leader. Look at what is happening in other industries and how that can affect your business. All right, so that's a bit about digital disruption. That's the main thing we can talk about today, and I hope we all understand, this concept using the illustration that I have enumerated. All right, so that's Amazon versus Walmart for you. Now, if you look at this graph, you can see the impact that Amazon has made on the retail industry. So it depends on where you're looking, how you're looking at the screen. But if you look at the right side of the screen, you can see retail companies like Ganda, mounting CS. Now CS, if you know, is a popular retail outlet, retail company in the US. They have what is that? I think and Fitch, Macy's, CVS. These are all retail companies that were impacted by the coming in of Amazon. So what you see are the number of stores that have been closed because of Amazon. So this is what we are talking about. This is an empirical evidence of what we are talking about when it comes to digital disruption. So if that concept is well pinned down, we can move on, because that is the main reason why business leaders would have to consider transforming their businesses using technology. Now, why digital transformation? Again, you're looking at empowering your employees. How do you deploy technology to ensure that there's efficiency internally? You understand? Now, communication, collaborating with your staff is very important. If people would have to wait and then print out reports and bring it to your office for you to go through, mark out and, also come up with suggestions before you move it from your office physically to their office, before a final document would be delivered, I can assure you that you are going to be inefficient, and business leaders or businesses that are using collaborative technologies are going to go ahead of you. And time in business, we know, is very vital. So if you have another company, company B, using collaborative technology, you realize that if a document has to be produced, and as consultants, this is very critical. If documents have to be produced, now using Google Drive, for example, the document can be shared across, you understand? And multiple teams can be working on the same document in real time. So this saves a lot of time, and it empowers your employees, and then it should make you much more competitive. Now, the next benefit is that when you transform digitally, you're able to engage your customers. Now, how do you engage your customers? If you have a digital platform outlet, like you have an online presence, if you have a website, you should be able to generate feedback from your customers. And nowadays, you're talking about reviews. So how are your customers, experiencing your services? They can go to Yelp. If you have a Yelp account, your customers can send in reviews of your product or your services, and you can get feedback real time. So that's how you can also engage your customers. And then you optimize your operations. Now, if you are transforming digitally, there are two aspects that you should know. There's always the front-end technology, and then there's always the backbone technology, you understand? Now, if you are a financial or a banking service company, for example, you would want to have the front end where customers can go and conduct their banking transactions. But operational-wise, when it comes to back-end operations, you should ensure that you have strong technology to back it up, all right? So you deploy technology to optimize your operations as well. Now, if you're using technology to optimize your operations, you're going to be much more competitive than another company that is still using the traditional ways of doing things. So it's a manual processes. If loans have to be approved, you would have to fill, a physical document. The document would have to be physically transferred to the loan officer's office for him to view. This will take a lot of time. And then a bank B that is using technology is going to go way ahead of you. They can approve loans faster, and they can, make sure that their customers are satisfied, because of the time efficiency. So that's about optimizing operations with technology. And then we can talk about products, So apart from operations, you're also looking at products. And now we say that every business is now a technology business. So they're gone are the days when you say that we have an IT department that is separate from the way we do business. Now, all businesses must run like, technology companies. So you must think about how you're going to come up with new products, to drive innovation, to drive value for your customers using technology. So for example, you can come up with an app, okay, that services your clients, so if you are in the health industry, for example, you can have apps that helps you take information from, your clients or your patients, and then you're able to route that information to your physicians. Your physicians are able to look at it and make diagnosis in real time. It reduces, it saves time for your patients. And if you have, executives who are very busy and they can't make time to come, to your hospital, or they have to come in queue. If you come up with this product, you'll be able to drive innovation. You'll be able to satisfy your clients. You'll be able to, get more profits, compared to a company that is not coming up with any digital product. So if you're talking about why digital transformation, these are the major areas that you can talk about. So in all, you don't put them in silos, but then you link them together. And that's what we call systems of intelligence. So you know how to empower your employees, you know how to engage your customers, you know how to optimize your operations, and you know how to transform your products. Then we can say that as a business leader, you have deployed digital transformation to take your business or to move your business forward. Okay, so the core aspect of this presentation is for leaders to know why digital transformation is important for them. Now, if you talk about a business, you can talk about the business as an entity, but you as a leader, why must it be something that has to always be on top of your head? You get it. So these are the major reasons. Now, it's survival. If you're a business leader, you're not strategizing to survive. First of all, you need to survive. You need to remain on top, of the water to survive. You need to consider survival, because if you're not considering survival, then you're not in business at all. So as I said, there's nothing like specialist tech firms anymore. All businesses are tech companies. So you must look at how you're going to use technology to promote your business and be competitive. And then I talk about all that I've been talking about. I've been talking about competitiveness, because you're not going for technology's sake. But you're going for technology in order to be competitive. Again, you're going for technology to drive customer value and innovation. And then how do you also impact society and profit? If you're to go into details, you know that if you adopt digital transformation, to a large extent, you can be helping society when it comes to environmental management, because you'll be able to reduce travel costs. And once you reduce travel costs, you also reduce your carbon impact. And you're talking about climate change and how businesses impact or relates to climate change. And digital transformation can really be useful in helping your business. And this area is critical when it comes to social responsibility as a business. Your social responsibility activities, you can still use digital technology to get credits from there. All right. So still looking at why DT as a business leader. Now, you should know that we have over 2 billion users of Facebook now. So that's indicative of web technology drive. So if you don't have web presence, you're not in business at all. Now, mobile phone technology, we are now a bionic generation, meaning that it seems that we can't even live. It's like now we can't breathe without our mobile phones. You get it. So if you want to reach your customers, you will reach them via their mobile phones. And there's evidence. Usually, if you send out an email marketing information and you want to track the analytics, you realize that almost always you'd have about 80% of people who check your mails they'll check your mails using their mobile phones, right? So this should inform you that if you're coming up with any product, digital product, you should consider, how to make it work with a mobile phone technology. Of course, COVID continues to change the world. Now, virtual meetings, remote work, all these technologies or ways of working used to exist before COVID, and businesses were thinking ahead of time, were already taking advantage of these technologies, but COVID has made it so obvious. Now it's like you have no choice, you must also get on it. Fintech, so how do you come up with digital payment systems as a business leader? How do you ensure that you are leveraging digital banking? Now, if you're an SME leader, I would think that you would want to drive down costs when it comes to your financial transactions. So instead of you always driving to the bank, to request for transfers, you can conveniently sit in your office and do this using your banking apps. So if you have a banking, if you should talk to your banks, ensure that you are taking advantage of the digital platforms that the banks have. So you can request for a standing order on your account, and you can do this sitting in your office and using the digital platform. It will be done instantly. Now compare this to the traditional way of requesting for a bank a standing order on your account. You would have driven to the bank, probably be in a queue, and then wait for the banking officers to send to you. So you're talking about time here that you could have invested in your own company. And then EdTech transformation. So what you're doing is part of the EdTech transformation in the whole world. So now we can gain knowledge. We don't always have to be in the classroom. We can use virtual platforms to disseminate information or training for our staff, for our people. All right, so all the talk, we'll have to know what is driving digital transformation. So definitely you must have technologies that are driving digital transformation. And, at the moment, these are the major areas that we are talking about. So you have big data, which is vital. Now, data is the new gold, you understand? If you have data and if you're able to know how to harness it, first of all, how to derive value from it, you're going to be competitive as a business entity. And as a business leader, you should consider how you're going to use data, how you're going to create value from that data to be much more competitive. So an illustration, again, can be a banking industry where now you're able to, using data, you're able to know those who are likely to default. You understand? You'll be able to know those who are likely to default, and using a particular technology, you'll be able to get prompts on when a client or a client is likely to default, and then you can take action on time. Now, in the public sector, we see a lot of opportunities where even government is leveraging on data. Now, if you drive through town, you see this, what we call them public camera trees. You can see them all over. Now, there's an opportunity for government to be spying on all of us and taking data on us, because as you drive through the junctions, these cameras would capture your vehicle numbers. And this is a big data for government, and be able to know the kind of people who apply that particular route or that community. Eventually, we can trace it down to community statistics. You're looking at the wealth index of communities. Government can use data to gain insight and then know how to inform policy on that. So that's about big data. So these are many ways that we can apply, businesses can apply big data. So in retail, you can apply data, big data. You can use it to manage your supply chain. Now, instead of waiting to order, if you are in the retail industry, instead of you waiting, going back to check your stock manually before you place orders, as you make sales daily, right? Using data, you'll be able to know what you need, to stock in the next, 2 or 3 months, right? And you'll be able to put in place systems in such a way that you need not even call your suppliers anymore. your suppliers will know from their end that you are getting short of a particular stock, and they will be able to quickly work on it and get you the supplies in your shop. That's how data is transforming the retail industry, for example. Now you can look at applications in the health sector, and meaning that now we're able to know diseases patterns, all right? To the extent that now we have apps that can determine when you leave this planet, depending on your lifestyle. So the health sector now can tell when giving certain information that you offer or you give them, you're able to tell whether you'll be able to live up to 60 years, up to 50 years. And this is also important to business leaders. As we say, your health is your wealth. You understand? So there are still platforms that you can use to monitor your health and to be able to take the necessary actions. Now, you can talk about artificial intelligence, you can talk about machine learning. Artificial intelligence is making, we have ways of machines getting to know much more about us. Again, they are going to use data, and it means that they can do better job at certain tasks than human beings, all right? So you have robots that can predict what is going to happen in your industry, right? You can do it better than you can. In the same way, you have machine learning. Now, when you talk about machine learning, we're not really talking about physical machines. We are talking about algorithms, models that will be able to predict what is likely to happen to your business or your industry. So applications of AI, you have healthcare for assisting doctors, you have education for automating grading system, you have autonomous vehicles for advanced features. Now we now know that autonomous vehicles, do better jobs than humans. So sometimes we're apprehensive, hey, when we bring this particular technology in Ghana, aren't we going to face problems? The AI technology, when they are integrated into automobile technology, can do better jobs, all right, reducing accidents going forward. And then use it to smoothing your business processes on and on. Because of time, I can't go into all of it. Now, another major technology that is driving business transformation that business leaders must pay attention to is cloud technology, right? Now, you now don't need all the physical servers in order to scale your business, in order to do well in your business. All you have to do is to contact the vendors of these cloud services. So you can contact IBM, you can contact Amazon, meaning that you can buy a space and be able to store all your information in the cloud, not needing to invest in hardware, and that definitely saves you cost. Now, moving into the era of e-commerce, where you have businesses going to take advantage of the e-commerce platform. There will come a time when you have to be processing a lot of transactions, like payment, orders, and all that. Now, traditionally, that would have required that you install servers, at the various places of your business. And as the transaction increased, you needed to beef up capacity by procuring more servers. But because of cloud technology, that has become unnecessary. And all you have to do is to, contact these suppliers or vendors, and then you buy a space and you pay as you go. So that is one advantage of this technology. We're almost out of time, so I'll run very quickly. So e-commerce in Africa is coming up using digital technology. We should all pay attention. Now, if you want to see how DT is transforming world industry, travel industry, you can look at the Beijing Daxing International Airport. I'll put the link in the recording, and later on you can follow the YouTube video to know how technology is being deployed. Okay, so if you're implementing a DT strategy, there are so many things that you have to consider. So you must consider your internal customers and external customers. Again, you're not just going for technology's sake. So find out how your employees can use the technology effectively. What's the point going for technology that people cannot use? So bear that in mind as a business leader. So we talk about user experience user interface. If people go to your website and it's so clumsy, they are finding it difficult to get information, they'll quickly leave. People don't have time nowadays. So we've come up with our training program for executive leaders or business leaders, and it is built around the capacity that I've been talking about. The need for you to have that digital awareness, to be able to strategize is important. The need for you to manage risks is important. So if you look at what we've done, everything is about ensuring that you build all the capabilities to drive your business. So we are looking at how you master the nature of digital disruption, which I really talked about.
Hello.
And then you look at enterprise scan and audit, because you can't just implement a strategy. You must first of all scan the business environment, audit it to know the changes that you must make. And then you have to then know how to craft and execute your strategy. So we're also looking at digital skills for effective boards. You understand? If you're a board member or you're a business leader, you must know how to deploy technology to make sure you're making effective decisions for your company. So we have the IDEC Digital Center, Excellence Center, and these are the services that we provide. So we're looking at digital strategy. So it's not only the training. After we train you as a leader to gain the broader awareness of the industry or the digital transformation, we also can support you, up with your strategy, and then in implementing your strategy. Can help you look into your industry, know what the risks are, and then how to mitigate the risks. And most importantly, if you want to embark on an innovation project, how you can innovate within your business to stay.
So when you call and she's not picking, just send her a text. Okay.
So
just
that
look
is
at
it
call her right now. Tell her
what
that you are sending
digital
present to her.
Excellence Center. Now, quickly, we are almost run out of time, but as consultants, what we must know about digital transformation is that we can use digital technologies to build our identities as consultants. And we are looking at LinkedIn for thought leadership. If you want people to know that you are very good when it comes to human resource development consulting, when it comes to environmental consulting, when it comes to any area at all, traditionally you would have been publishing in the papers, publishing in the daily graphic for people to know that you're knowledgeable in a particular area. Now, using LinkedIn platform, you can at any point in time publish an article that you are knowledgeable or you have expertise in, and definitely that helps drive your identity as a consultant, and people know that this is your area of expertise. So let's take this seriously. How we should also know, we all should know how we're going to deploy LinkedIn, to boost our thought leadership. And then collaborative or project management technologies like Trello, Slack, Bitrix will ensure that as a consultant, you don't always have to be driving to physical places to have meetings with your colleagues. Using these technologies, we can manage projects, we can collaborate to work using technological platforms like Trello, like Slack, like Bitrix. And then also be prepared to deal with technology aspect of your expertise. Now that you know that digital transformation is impacting business, you cannot walk to a client and say that you have an expertise in a particular area without having the awareness of how technology is impacting your area. So if you talk about HR consulting, for example, you should know how technology is affecting the way you do your analytics, the way you do recruitment. You should know how, if you're an environmental consultant, you should know how the Internet of Things is now being deployed for monitoring, environment. So if you're in the oil industry, for example, you have IoT, that's the Internet of Things, devices that can be monitoring, to prevent, for example, if you look at the upstream industry or the oil industry, to prevent oil spillage and cause, challenges. So in a nutshell, as consultants, we need to be aware of what is happening on the technology landscape. Only because now businesses are no more separate from IT. They are together. and clients are thinking about how they can use technology, to be competitive. So again, no matter your area or expertise, you must have that edge, especially knowing what is happening in your field when it comes to technology. So that is a bit about that. And we bring our presentation to a close. Thank you very much for your time. I don't know if we can take any questions, but if you have any questions, I'm ready to take them quickly because time is quite fast spent. All right, so thank you very much, colleagues. Please, if you have any question, kindly let me have them, and then when you unmute your
Good morning. I have a question.
Okay, your name.
My name is Andy.
Okay,
my name is Andy.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for good presentation. It is a good one. I mean, trying to get to be digital. Now, I have a concern. Probably we can all share and then look at it. Now, you know that recently there was an argument that at the World Economic Forum that there are some things that people must have, some skills people must have to make sure that in the digital world you become better. But there's still an argument that there are some things that human beings can do that computers cannot do. For example, if you go to a restaurant, you still want somebody to ask you, smile at you. What may I serve you? Do you want water? Are you okay? That HR people needs to be empathetic. Sympathetic. Somebody should ask you, how are you doing? Your eyes looks red. You are dull today. How is your mother? My question is this, how do you strike a balance in meeting people face to face in this digital world?
Okay, that's a great question. So the question is about what humans can do that computers or the digital technologies can do. So you're right. We must look at, number one, for business leaders, for consultants, we must look at emotional intelligence, because definitely machines are not emotional, but as humans, we can be emotional, and how we become intelligent at managing our emotions when it comes to business meetings, when it comes to dealing with business partners is very key. So it is one area that a lot of consulting and training goes on, when it comes to management consultancy. And as we said, empathy is vital. And yes, we wonder how machines, can empathize with human beings. So yes, that is key. But you probably might be surprised that the scenario that you raised, we now have robotics or robots, helping the elderly in Japan, you understand? And they do a better job of reading the moods of these people and knowing how they're feeling in the morning and, making suggestions. They can even play music that will bring up your mood, in the morning. If you wake up and you're down, the machine can read your mood and say that, Oga, I think you're not fine today. So would you mind if I play your favorite music? You understand? We have technologies that restaurants in some parts of the world are now using, that instead of getting the waitress to come to you, you can do everything on your desk. And with time, the machines get to know you as a customer. And as you're saying, they probably would know your history, things that you like, things that you don't like. If you ate a particular menu and we're not happy with it, the machine will record. Next time, it will do a better job of suggesting what you would do. So striking a balance might be difficult. But what is surprising is that even in areas where we think humans might be better, like empathy, as I just illustrated, machines are doing better jobs, you understand? Because, for example, you go to the airport and you would want a particular information. If you spoke to the regular human attendant, depending on their mood, you could have a very bad experience. But this robot never has any mood swing, whatever. It does its job as it needs to do, and can even be much more. Your experience probably would be much more better. Yeah. So, Andrew, I don't know if I've given some insights into.
Yeah, you have. I agree with you,
Yeah.
but look, I am still of the opinion that look, we may do probably the future may be 90% mechanical,
Yeah.
and that 10% human touch.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
I mean, we'll still have to go for funerals of people who are passed away. we may still have to put the baby at our back and then make the baby sleep.
Yes.
And then call that staff and give that face-to-face hard feedback.
Yes.
Not necessarily on the phone or a Zoom call, but look into my eyes and let me tell you that you're not performing.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
And then tell that I need a pat on my shoulder, a hand, physical hand, on my shoulder because I'm doing well. So I agree.
Yeah.
Technology, but hey, I still think 10%, even 1% of human touch is needed going forward.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Anyway. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Any more questions?
Yes, Ambrose is here.
Okay. Mr.
Thanks, Gideon, for a wonderful presentation.
Thank you.
I get where Andrew is coming from. He's an HR person.
Yeah.
Obviously, he places a premium on that emotional intelligence.
Yes.
That's good. I think these things are not meant to be exclusive. I think we can do parallel running. So you can have the human bit and then the technology bit going together.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think it's something that has worked together for a while.
Sure.
And the emphasis is anybody's guess. If you prefer the total 100% technology, fine. If you want to mix, I think that can be arranged.
Yeah.
But I want to take this opportunity to just do a very quick summary of what we agreed on at the last meeting when we had it, the business forum.
Okay.
That we cannot afford the meeting, and we want to use this medium to facilitate our discussions. So, in quick summary, we said that we want to have hands-on support for SMEs after training. Roll out a kind of process consulting, walking through implementation stages, monitoring and evaluating for results and impact. The issues about legal drafting of legislative instruments, LIs to back existing law, because we realize that in Ghana, there are so many laws, there are no legislative instruments which will facilitate the laws workable. So, and as part of our consulting experience, can we take up these things from institutions and CSOs to be able to put experts together and do LIs to back laws that will make them functional? And then we have institutional capacity building designed to suit specific needs of clients, and training on business ethics, especially, we found to be very interesting. In these days where everybody's talking about corruption and how corruption affects development, can we do some training for institutions on ethics and the values of ethics? You go to establishment and you see vision and mission, but you don't see value statements. And I think we agree that the values are more important than because they tell you the type of person or the nature of people you are dealing with. Are they going to deal with you on an objective basis and ethical and morally? We need to take these things up and train institutions on ethics and morals, business ethics. Of course, we have strategic planning and writing of business plans to make sure SMEs and indeed corporates survive, especially in this post-COVID environment where a lot of business are on their knees. Then we're looking at the institutions, second cycle schools, universities, possible distance learning programs. Becomes an option in this COVID period and going forward. So chief executives and leaders of industry needs to appreciate and understand that their businesses will only thrive if they embrace digital technology. How do they appreciate the benefits of digitization and bringing this to bear by way of convincing themselves that this is the way to go, and also training their staff so that staff can work from home. I can share an experience. I just turned 60 on the 7th of December on election day.
Oh.
And I Access pension scheme, I applied for my benefits, and I went to the office and they were all on holidays. It was only the receptionist who was there. And they said, oh, why did you have to come to our office? We are all working from home. And they've been working from home and everything is going on very well. So this is fantastic. This is an opportunity that people, every institution can, access. It's a technology that is available. So if we continue to insist on physical presence at the office, it's not going to help. And I can tell you, Access Pension is one of the best fund managers as far as pensions are concerned, and they are working, and they have a large number of clientele returning very good investments for their contributors, and they are not working since COVID, and they are all at home, working from home. So it's something that's doable, and I think that's the direction where IDEC Center of Excellence want to go in collaboration with industry, in collaboration with corporates. Other products we said we want to roll out are the EduTech program for education, Meditech. You can consult your doctors online and get prescriptions and get treated without going to queue with doctors, wasting your whole day. And then FinTech is another area we can deal with, and ICT and apps for electronic voting going forward into the future, and cyber. In doing electronic voting, you're talking about safety and security. So how do we ensure the cyber security? We just come out from the experience of the 2020 elections, and people may not believe in electronic voting because they think these things can be tampered with. We need to address the area of security, and security becomes very critical if we have to have apps that you can vote electronically from your phone, from your laptop, and from wherever. These are all interesting areas. As a group of experts that we have put together, we can work around to make sure that we can roll out these things and be of service to our country and to our communities. Thank you very much. By way of a quick summary, I think I must, before I back out, I must congratulate Gideon for a good presentation, and I hope this will excite more discussions and further contributions going forward. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ina. Thank you. All right. Any other comments or contribution or question?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Thank you for your presentation.
Okay.
And I think with this, I think everybody will understand the need for us to go digital and formalize our businesses. However, the concern the security of digital transformation. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, yes.
Yeah, the security of digital transformation, especially our part of this. Some of us who are using the emails are most of the time compromised. In that case, I've seen most of these IT guys talking more about security systems, how we can put more firewalls on our systems. Can you elaborate a bit on these things? And also, whilst we are considering the next thing that we need to do for us to be secure.
Okay. So, is that Henry?
I'm Emmanuel.
Yeah, Emmanuel. Okay, yeah. Emmanuel, yes. So you're right. So security is key. Security is key. So that's why we talk about cyber security, and then privacy matters. So you can't really do digital transformation effectively without considering the implications for security. So definitely you must factor that into it. So how you come up with VPN technologies, firewalls to back up or to protect your facility or your technological facility is very important because we are all vulnerable. The big tech giants, they are always tracking us. So if you've been sending emails using Gmail, they know you in and out. They know your traits, and that's how come they're able to suggest products or services that is in line with what you are interested in. So yes, it's a challenge, but definitely once you move into the terrain of digital transformation, you must consider cybersecurity as one of the key areas to tackle. And not only that, privacy is important. So how you manage, because now you're going to get your employees, on your digital platforms, how do you protect their privacy? It's very important to come up with a privacy policy so that people will know how you are taking their data, how you're using their data. They have to be assured that people will not just walk to them, demand to get your details, and they will just offer or give out your details. So it's important, yes. So Ima, thank you very much. Security matters is key when it comes to digital transformation. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay, colleagues, any other? I think I'll take a last comment or question, and then we'll bring our session to an end.
My name is Jimmy Harris, and I want to say good morning to everyone. I'm speaking to you from. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Yes, Jimmy. Please go ahead.
Very good presentation. Very timely. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please go on. We can hear you.
Yes, very good presentation. Very timely, and when you talk about transformation, and you were talking about Walmart and Amazon and all these things, I mean, happening right now.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to piggyback on the question that the person just asked you about security.
Yeah.
One of the things, most companies now they don't even have email and different types of applications in house. It's all cloud based, and they're going to, just like you were saying, they're going to these big guys, and you're actually buying the platform, or you're buying a piece of their platform. And the Amazons and the Microsofts of the world and other companies at that level, they are literally mandated to provide a level of security, because you no longer have your own firewall, you no longer have your own on-premise infrastructure, if you will.
Yeah.
And so that allows you to be able to scale to any degree that you want to. And so with a lot of companies here, including my company, my whole infrastructure, it's all virtual, and when it comes to, email security and data security and stuff like that, it's the different service levels agreement that you agree to when you purchase these services. And so, so those services are out there in the cloud, and it's just a matter of understanding, what you need, when you go to an infrastructure provider to to purchase whatever services that you want. But I can tell you that with artificial intelligence and machine learning and things of that nature, digital transformation is happening right now, and I think it has accelerated how you do business. How people would like to prefer to do business. And it's all it's trickling down from large corporations all the way down to small companies and even individual users, just like you were saying, Walmart, Amazon, or any other company, they know what you like, they know what you bought the last time, they know what your favorites are. And so this is all good. One of the things that I wanted to just kind of briefly ask you is in terms of the framework to move forward as a consultant. What are there any particular tools that you've considered using in terms of implementing digital transformation?
Okay. So, wow. Okay, so you're talking about from the consultant's perspective?
Yes, sir.
Or the client's perspective?
From a consulting
perspective. Okay, so consulting, you can always look at the collaborative tools if you're working in a team. So you can look at collaborative technologies, and there's Trello on the market. There's Slack already on the market. I'm sure there are other technological tools that you can consider. So, but mainly in the area of collaboration with your colleagues or with your team management. And then you can also look at the project management technologies. I think there's Bitrix on the market. I don't know if you're aware of Bitrix on the market that you can use, in managing projects. And communication tools, definitely you have Google, you have Gmail, and you have other communication tools that you can deploy. So it depends. You have the products on the market, you would have to assess and find out those that you think would be of benefit to suit your particular purpose, when it comes to consulting. Yeah, so in the area of collaboration, communication with teams, I think you can have some technologies deployed in those areas as a consultant or for consulting, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you have any recommendations in that area, Jimmy?
Yeah, so I think that in terms of like ICT and digital transformation, I think we're talking about I know the overall Microsoft Office 365 platform.
Sure.
It allows you to. It's a good, strong, robust platform. So it'll allow you to do a level of collaboration that will enable you to how would I say it? From an enterprise perspective, it'll allow you to basically do what you need to communicate and to collaborate and to have the necessary, what I call, working tools, where you can share information, and the same person can work on the same document and stuff like that. And one company I'm familiar with in particular is Tech Data. They provide just an array of different types of services and I'm sorry, not services but products. They provide several different types of products. They're a big vendor. They're a reseller, not a reseller, but they're a distributor, right? And so you can go through a company like Tech Data and get these tools and support customers and small companies and actually implement whatever that process is that you need to carry that company forward. Another company that I'm familiar with in terms of digital transformation, and I think this is very, very key when it comes to companies that has a lot of data. You was talking about big data, right? So the company is called Alteryx. And you got some other ones out there as well. You got Cloudera. You have Snowflakes. They just went public. But you take one example like Alteryx, right? It's Alteryx. You take a company like Alteryx. Alteryx does what Alteryx can do is they'll come in. And this is as a consultant because you'll be using their platform to support the customer, right? But you can come in and take a look at a company's, you know, the way they handle their data. Okay.
Yeah.
And so you can actually create these different models. Okay. And it's really algorithm. That's really what it is. But you can create these different models and run different scenarios, right? Whereby you can take data from let's say HR, you can take it from finance, you could take it from, let's say, engineering, for an example. And, you know, it could be any one or any combination, 3, 4, 5 different departments, you know, across the enterprise. You can take that data and actually blend it. You can blend that data, and what the application does, you know, is it allows you to see things that you normally wouldn't see, because what happens is, you know, you have like, and I don't mean to get real, you know, to go down in the weeds on this, but you'll have 30, 40, 50 different algorithms, right? These algorithms running analysis on 2, 3, 4, 5 different pieces of data. So the output is, you know, the machine, just like you were saying previously, the machine will give you insight or business intelligence that you normally wouldn't have if you didn't use it. Makes sense. So, but digital transformation is very exciting. There's a lot of new companies out there. There's a lot of tools, and I can tell you, you know, every company that I can think of is moving toward digital transformation. They're being forced to. I know the entire U.S. government right now is moving toward digital transformation. I worked at NASA for 6 years, and right now one of their primary tasks moving forward for the next 5 years is to make NASA a complete digital transform company, right? Wow. And such that when you look at for example, when you look at engineering, right, you're looking at engineering across the entire enterprise, and what the effects of a particular decision or a particular action, you know, what the effects of a particular decision or action might be. Okay. If you look at it within engineering, for an example, and this is oil and gas or anything, you know. So anyway, not to be real wordy, digital transformation is happening now, and it's happening at a very rapid speed.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, Jimmy, for your insight. That's great insight there. Great. So I think we'll bring our meeting to an end. I don't know if Mr. Yena would like to give us a final comments, and then we'll check out.
Yes, thank you, Gideon. As I said, this first meeting, virtual meeting webinar, I think it's gone well. We've generated further ideas, especially from the perspectives of the last speaker, Jimmy, participating all the way from the US. Jimmy, you are in a high-tech environment, and obviously you, as an somebody with engineering and tech background, and you have a lot to offer in this our discussion. We'd like, going forward from this meeting, you can send us some proposals as to how we can collaborate and how we can share technologies to drive this program that we have instituted, so that our organization can play a very pivotal role in driving this agenda and be of service to our Ghanaian communities. Of course, with a lot of support from the US, where you operate from, and which is very much in your comfort zone and your area of expertise. So on behalf of the IDEC team and the team of consultants, we are very grateful to have you all participating and sharing on this platform. I thank you, and we look forward to further collaboration and driving this program going forward. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Let's catch up on our WhatsApp platform. if you have any other questions or information to share. All right, thank you. You all have a wonderful day. Yeah, thank you.